Today we're doing Adam Sandler tier list. I've already went ahead, put all the movies that I haven't seen into the never seen tier. Tiers that we got today, we got S tier or Sandler tier, A tier or Adam tier, B, C, D, and F, and then let's go ahead and let's add one more below. That is, like always, absolute shit tier. There's always something. Now, let's get into this. Let's just jump straight in. First movie we got up, Bedtime Stories. All right, Bedtime Stories. I love Bedtime Stories. I don't think it's an S. I don't think it's an S tier movie. I think it's a solid A. Bedtime Stories is a great movie. Let's see. Next up, we got Big Daddy. Big Daddy could have his arguments for being an S, but I think it's like a top A tier movie. I just don't think it cracks that like S tier. It's missing something, you know? It's missing something. Billy Madison, if you don't have Billy Madison in your S tier, I think you're really messing up. You're really disrespecting the movie. Billy Madison is one of the best Adam Sandler movies ever made, okay? And no one's ever gonna tell me otherwise. We got Blended. I like the movie Blended. I think it's one of his... I like to think of Adam Sandler projects in segments. So you have the beginning of his career, the earlier movies, and you have the middle of it, and you have the later movies. I think this is falling right in between that middle to late period. You know, it's not super recent, but it's also not an older movie. So I think out of some of his new movies, it's one of the better ones. But we're gonna go with B. I think it sits in B pretty well. Click. If you don't have Click in your A tier, then I don't know what you're doing. Actually, yeah, Click in A tier, right above Bedtime Stories, but below Big Daddy. The Do-Over was funny, but overall, it was a C tier movie. I watched it on Netflix, and it wasn't anything amazing. 50 First Dates. Actually, interesting little story about this. 50 First Dates during quarantine in 2020 was on every day. It would go on, and then at the end of it there would be a 3-hour break, and then they'd play it again. So while I am absolutely tired of 50 First Dates, I think I'm gonna have to give it the respect it deserves and throw it in the top B tier. Just because it is a really good movie. I've just overwatched it. Grown Ups 2. I love the Grown Ups movies. Adam Sandler's my favorite actor. He's one of my all-time favorite actors. And I love the Grown Ups movies. But I don't think they fit into S tier. I do think Grown Ups 1 is better than Grown Ups 2. I think Grown Ups 2 sits in a B tier pretty comfortably. Grown Ups 1, it has its case for S tier, and right now I'm going to let it sit in S tier because of how much I love this movie, okay? Grown Ups is one of my all-time favorite movies. You can ask my girlfriend. She is tired of watching Grown Ups because I love Grown Ups so much. Happy Gilmore. Happy Gilmore is an easy S. I don't think it beats Billy Madison. Well, yeah, it's gonna beat Billy Madison. It's top of S tier. I love Happy Gilmore. Probably my favorite all time. Actually, I don't think it's my favorite all time Adam Sandler movie, but it definitely has its stake in S tier. But I think it deserves the top of S tier. Hotel Transylvania. I don't care for any of these movies. They can all just go into D tier. Hubie Halloween. I've watched the first 10 minutes of this movie, and it's just absolute shit tier. Absolute shit tier. We're not even gonna go in depth about Hubie Halloween. I couldn't even get through 20 minutes of the movie without wanting to shut it off. Absolute shit tier. Next one we got is Hustle. Now, me and my girlfriend watched this one recently, and it was really good. Adam Sandler kind of gets a bad rap for not being an actor per se, because he doesn't do serious roles very well. he's the funny guy, you know. But Hustle, he did an amazing job, and I think it's gonna go into A tier. Probably, I want to put it in the top of A tier. Chuck and Larry, I love Chuck and Larry. It's a great movie. It's gonna go right below Hustle. Chuck and Larry's a great movie. Jack and Jill. If you can look at me in the eyes and say you like Jack and Jill, then I'm gonna say that you're probably stupid. Jack and Jill is such a shit movie. Just go with it. I'm not really a big just go with it fan. I think part of it's Jennifer Aniston. I just don't really care for her. So we're gonna put it bottom of C tier. Longest Yard. I think The Longest Yard is a great movie. Not S tier, not A tier. I think it's gonna fit pretty comfortably into B, above Grown Ups 2. There we go. Fits into the top of B pretty well. Pixels. Pixels gets a bad rap. It's obviously not S tier. It's not A tier. I don't think it slots into B either. I think it's a subpar movie, and you can make its case in C, but probably like below Blended. Bottom of B. No, it would have been here. Sorry, top of C. My bad. Spanglish. I watched this movie one time, and it was okay. It's one of those movies where Adam Sandler's trying to prove that he's an actor and not just a comedian, and he did an okay job with it. But I think I'm just gonna have to put it like probably. I think it goes top of C tier. Yeah, I like where it slots there. Next one, we got That's My Boy. I watched That's My Boy once. It's been so long since I've watched it. I have a hard time grading stuff that I haven't watched in forever. I'll give it some decent respect in C. No, we'll be nice to put it bottom of B, just because I personally haven't watched it in forever, but everybody kind of loves it. Let's see, we got Uncut Gems. I absolutely hate Uncut Gems. This is not like worse than Jack and Jill, but it's definitely in its own class in F. I could watch it, but he's just, once again, trying to prove that he's an actor, and it didn't work out well. So here we go. We got The Waterboy. I love The Waterboy. This is an S movie, right above Grown Ups. The Waterboy is a classic. I love it. An Adam Sandler classic, not like an all-time classic. Lastly, we got The Week Of. This is a Netflix only original, whatever they're called. And Netflix has really shit selection. But The Week Of is a really great movie. Now, it's not S grade, it's not A grade, it's probably B good. Like, I'm gonna put it probably above Blended. But I think that's what we're looking at for the. I think that's what we're looking at for the Adam Sandler tier list. Is right there. It's right there. If I'm being honest. Going back over things. Absolute shit tier. We obviously got Hubie and Jack and Jill, class of their own. Terrible. We got Uncut Gems in F. D is the Hotel Transylvania movies. C, Spanglish, Pixels, The Do-Over, and Just Go With It. I think those all mid-tier movies. B is The Longest Yard, Grown Ups 2, 51st Dates, The Week Of, Blended, and That's My Boy. A tier is Hustle, Chuck and Larry, Big Daddy, Click, and Bedtime Stories. And then the best movies, S tier, Sandler tier, is Happy Gilmore, Billy Madison, The Waterboy, and Grown Ups, in that order. I think that is I think that's pretty fair. I love Adam Sandler. He is one of my favorite actors. I think all this is pretty fair ranking. Thank you guys for watching the video. If you liked, leave a like down below and comment what I should do in my next tier list, and also what you thought about this tier list. If you do want me to make more content like this, please subscribe. And if you want to watch live, come to twitch.tv/Banishable. Thank you guys.